Welcome back. Harold Pupkewitz, a graduate school of business at the Namibia University of Science and Technology, NUST, has announced its newly accredited PhD in Management Sciences starting in 2026. Now, this program is designed for ambitious scholars and professionals seeking to deepen their expertise, that is in business management or any other related field. Now, this PhD program will equip candidates with advanced research skills, enabling them to become highly specialized experts who demonstrate authoritative knowledge in business management. Joining us this morning to share more is the Director of Research and Program Coordinator at NUST, that is Professor Sulaiman, that is Atiku. Prof, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Quite interesting developments that we're seeing coming from the University of Science and Technology. Just talk to us about the introduction of this PhD, the significance of it, and also what actually this means for higher education landscape in Namibia.
Yeah, I think it's very important that I give a brief background to this. The program was initially developed in 2016 and was approved by the Senate in 2018. And after Senate approval, it was registered under NQA framework, NQA Level 10. And the university slowed down implementation because we needed to have enough experts in terms of professors, associate professors, and senior professors in management discipline. And we got the implementation plan through in 2022, but it was accredited last year. And we got full accreditation from NCHE last year. And I need to provide you that background to see that how NUST cherish high-quality education in terms of quality assurance in Namibia. I think I can say we are number one.
Very well. Now, 2016 is quite a long period until 2026. Is that a long period? Because I would think that it's a long period. And if so, why did it take so long for this to be finally accredited?
For PhD, it's 10 over 10.
Right.
NQA level 10 level. You need experience, expertise in management field. Like, I'm a full professor of human resource management, for example, organizational behavior and leadership. Because of that, that experience is essential to supervise on that program. So basically, when you're looking at PhD management sciences, you're looking at subfield. The subfield includes human resource management, marketing management, managerial economics, strategic management, operation management, and so on and so forth, or organizational leadership and change management for leadership effectiveness in the country. And we, as a business school, our mandate is management education and thought leadership. So we have to provide essential resources in terms of human resources and competencies to launch the program. And I will tell you that this PhD is a rigorous PhD program.
Absolutely. For those who are not familiar with management sciences and at the doctoral level, what does this field actually then encompass? If you just talk to us about why it also is advanced, research capacity in management as well as leadership so critical for national development at this very stage that we are as a country?
Yeah, it's so important in the sense that we have many state-owned enterprises, over 50 of them in Namibia.
Right.
And you have the private sector. And NUST being one of those SOEs, we are mandated to provide executive education. And that executive education, everything revolves about management and leadership. We're so rich in minerals. But some of our problem is leadership, management. We have the resources, and that is why we are saying that for those captains of industries, consultants in Namibia, or people who work in higher education institutions would need to develop their critical thinking skills, analytical skills. They need to have problem-solving skills. And the PhD program is so essential is that you have to go into rigorous research to come up with practical solutions, not just theoretical knowledge, but we pride ourselves, we prioritize theoretical contribution to knowledge and practical application. For example, if we have talent retention issues in Africa or sub-Saharan Africa, and you go into a rigorous research for 3 years, you'll be able to come out with a talent retention framework or model that could be implemented, that could also outlive it. Could be maybe Kuda's talent retention framework or model. And that is what we are talking about. And you could see talent retention speaks into an aspect of management, which is HR, and that we have particular problem there. Yours could be leadership effectiveness in state-owned enterprises, and your model could be something that will be implemented in many state-owned enterprises in Namibia. And you could be an expert in that area for consultancy.
So there's a broad opportunity then actually in this.
For consultants, for captains of industries, executives, for those in academia who want to have their PhD and then be able to advance their career in academia for senior lecturer, associate professor, and professorship. Even in the training institutions, to facilitate some NQF 8, 9 levels, you need to have a PhD in that specific subject area.
Yeah, we now identify that at least for state-owned enterprises, I think this program is at least designed for the leadership in those areas. Are we only looking at that?
It's across board. The use of state-owned enterprises is a classical example in Namibia. It's also included in the private sector or higher education institutions across board. You are an executive and you need to make informed decisions. We are talking about business intelligence today. That's research. You need research. Data-driven, we're talking about data-driven decision-making. We just don't want a situation where people take sensitive and in strategic positions and they are making decisions by just emotions. I love this. My decision is based on that and it's final. No, we want people who will undertake research and development. And whatever outcome of that is driven, their strategic interventions is informed by that research. And that is what we are talking about. And that is the only way we can transform Namibia, SADC, or Sub-Saharan Africa. We need to put up our model, develop our model backed up by rigorous research in providing solutions. It could be people-related problems, it could be leadership issues in organization, and these are specific areas that we want. So let's say, for example, your thesis is based on leadership, an area of leadership. Under the PhD management sciences means that you're specializing in leadership. Or your thesis title is on HR, for example, human resource management or marketing or project management, managerial economics or financial management, for example. These are subfields. So it means that we have to look for a supervisor, an expert in that area that will guide you through your research in the course of 3 years. So you specialize in, for example, financial management, or someone who enroll on PhD management sciences, the thesis is under human resource management, you're specializing in that. And the focus is that you must look for knowledge gap in that area, and at the end of the day, there will be contribution to knowledge, and also practical application. And that is unique. That is our uniqueness in Namibia. And that's the only PhD. Our PhD is the only PhD in management sciences in Namibia. And even if we can't find experts within the country, like in the area of project management, for example, we don't have enough professors in Namibia, we are willing to go to South Africa or Canada, or we have partnership with many institutions in Europe, Germany, for example. So we could bring in such experts as a co-supervisor on that program. Very well.
Now, I think the big question is the key admission requirements for prospective candidates who wish to pursue this program. Just to give us perhaps a look into that.
I think the key requirement is that you have masters in those subfields that I highlighted. And that masters will also include that you must have done thesis. You've supervised this because prior learning is very essential. And then you need to come up with concept note as well, like a concept note which the Art Degrees Committee will go through in the selection panel. And after that, there will be pre-selection interview also.
I see.
And the average mark is highly competitive. And that tells you that the PhD program is very rigorous. And the average mark is you have 70% and above.
Okay.
And the PhD program, the first 6 months into the program, you have workshops, not coursework that you write exam, intensive research training. And while you're doing that, you're also developing your proposal for defense at faculty level, school level, faculty level, and it goes to the institutional higher degrees committee as well. Then the remaining 2.5 years is actually with your supervisor, where you're actually working on your thesis after your proposal has been approved at those levels, at the school level, at the faculty level, and at institutional level. So you can see the layers where the proposed study has to go through for approval before you...
so this is trajectory then?
Into the thesis.
Very well.
Quality of the proposal will inform the quality of the thesis. And after, when you're done, in 3 years and you handed in your thesis for examination, it has to go through a panel of 3 international examiners. They go through it, the report comes back, you address the correction before you be slated for a viva. And that is a public viva. So the public will be invited, an expert interview to drill the PhD candidate. Then afterwards, you can shake your hand and say, congratulations, you're a doctor, so, and so.
Absolutely. No, very, very interesting indeed. And for those interested candidates who, of course, would like to, get the PhD in this, how can they find information on this? Yeah,
we have detailed information on the HPGSP website. Yeah. If you go there, you click, you can apply, click the button to fill on the online application form. And the concept note template is also there. You can download the concept note template and to build your concept note. So for others who want to submit the hard copy, what they will do is that go online, download the PDF. 2026 postgraduate application form is online. You can download the PDF, fill up the application form, and attach all your concept notes, the CV, and all that supporting documents, your transcripts, your certificates with that, and submit hard copy to NUST, or they can also submit to the business school. Yeah, Pupkewitz Business School. We are on the lower campus.
All right. And finally, to professionals who are considering doctoral studies, but maybe still unsure about taking this step, what is your word of encouragement to them?
My encouragement or advice is that don't come to a PhD program, our PhD program in particular, because you wanted a PhD. It's because you needed it. There's difference between a need and a want. So, and that is very critical. You must need a PhD for your career progression, and what do you really want to do with it? So you don't get degree for decoration. There must be need for it. So if I'm a lecturer or learning and development practitioner, OD practitioner in the industry, and I aspire to head the learning and development unit or research and development unit, for example, I needed a PhD to discharge my service. And I have that passion, the analytical skills, the critical thinking skills, ability to write things, and logical flow of thoughts. Right. It's so essential at PhD level. We are not interested in targeting people who want a PhD for a title. Or who want a PhD, who want a PhD to enroll, to pick a political appointment. No. We want people who needed a PhD to solve practical problems in the industry, whether in the private sector or public sector, whether in academia. And that's the essence of a PhD. And we don't want people who enroll on a PhD because they are likely to drop out of the program. The likelihood that when you enroll on a PhD program, for the basis of the title, I want my family to address me as Dr. Atiku. You're not enrolling on PhD program for knowledge or for knowledge creation, and to have that skills and impact knowledge on others. And that's, for me, is critical, and that is what we stand for in the business school, and that's our mandate at NUST.
Absolutely. Prof, thank you so much. Congratulations to you and the team at the business school at NUST. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.